I'll get to the game of the PS4. And the only thing I'll say about this version right now, because I think we'll get into it better when the guys talk as well, it's slightly better running and looking than the Xbox. And I don't want anyone to go there and go, ooh. It is. The Xbox version stutters, video runs and it stutters when it's on the intro. I've seen it, I played it, it stuttered. And we'll come to first impressions of the Xbox in a minute, but the PlayStation doesn't. It was fine. So first impressions, very first impressions is it runs and looks slightly better on the PS4. Only just slightly better. So I didn't play much of the game on the PS4 because the way the game starts, I'm going to ask your guys' opinion of it. Slight spoilers, guys. I don't think it's a big spoiler because it looks like it's one of these kind of Americanized production value sports title beginnings that some may like, some may see it as cheesy, some may just want to get straight into the game. Well, the way Rory McIlroy's golf starts is a kind of make-believe because the Chambers Bay, which was the famous US Open not long back that everybody hated, that said it was the most disgusting golf course ever created and should never have been for a major. They kind of, and I actually liked the course, to be fair. I thought it was a great test. But what they kind of do at the start, they integrate Chambers Bay, but also somehow make it believe that Rory McIlroy was fighting a fight against Martin Kaymer for the US Open, which was a bit weird. It was a bit strange, and that's the way it does. But the reason they've done that, the way they do it, is it actually integrates you into a very, very basic tutorial. It tells you how to strike the ball. It tells you where to move for the wind. It tells you how to change clubs up and down. And within like a 4 or 5 hole integrated with, quite cleverly, Rory McIlroy talking to camera, real film, about the pressures of being a PGA golfer, the pressures of being a world champion, the pressures of winning majors, very cleverly integrates. And at the very end of it, it then lets you play the last 2 holes where you are 1 behind Martin Kaymer and you need to beat him on 2 holes, I think. And if you do, you raise the PGA Open and you're then presented in the game with the menus. I just want to say, though, I don't know why, when I played the Xbox version on EA Access, I did that first time, very, very simply, very, very easily, no problems whatsoever, was into the menus, and that's when I waited for these guys then. But then, the PS4 today, I've had 3 attempts at it, and I keep fluffing it every time. And the last time, I was getting a little bit miffed. I thought, I want to do this, because I think, if I'm not mistaken, you get a trophy or an achievement for doing that straight away. I couldn't beat him today. 3 attempts, and what the signal was, the first time I just played crap. I was a bit miffed about the PlayStation not starting and stuff, and I went rushing into it, and I lost it quite easily. But then the third attempt I did, I'd literally got a 2-inch putt to win the Open. It give it the old, he needs this putt to win the Open, and I just missed it by about a yard. And I just got the control.
That's not in the script.
No, I thought, Jesus Christ. But interestingly, and this is the way this works, there must be obviously 2 ways. You can either win it or you lose it. And I don't know how you guys did it on the Xbox, whether you won it the first time or not. You probably did, because it's pretty easy.
I quit, I think.
Oh, well, you should have played it, because it's a really good ending.
Yeah, but we've played the game 100 times before. I just
this is what I was saying.
Should I tell you my reasoning why I didn't? It's because I'm on a 10-hour trial.
Yeah, and that could be a great point.
I should skip to the bloody game.
Yes. Well, you see, the reason is I was thinking of doing that, but because I was
a bit more time for
but because I was doing it so easily on the Xbox and I did it just without thinking, I just went through it. And it is a very intriguing end. But what I was going to say is, on the Xbox, it gives the ending scenario. You know, Rory's got the trophy in the air and smiling.
Yeah.
But on the PS4, when I didn't do it, it's got a whole new scenario where Rory plays another video saying of the pressures of losing. And it shows a very clever little video of, when he blew up on Augusta in 2011.
See,
and then he carried on to win the PGA 70 days later. It integrates that, and it was very clever.
See, okay, all right. Stop there.
Yeah.
Gripe number 1.
Yep.
Why show us the end game during the introduction?
It isn't an end game.
Yeah, but I'm sorry. But
it isn't an end game.
Yeah, but they've shown you a celebratory thing,
Believe
lifting
me.
a trophy. And I bet you, if you win one of the golf tournaments, you'll see the same cutscene. And they did that with FIFA.
Yep.
They did. They gave you the.
You talked about that, didn't you? They give you like an early game, don't they? Yeah.
For some reason, Liverpool versus Man City in the demo of FIFA was for the Premier League title. And if Liverpool won it, they won the league. And then if you win as Liverpool, you get to see the celebratory trophy-giving part
and all. Fireworks.
I'm thinking that's the end game in a demo. Pointless. Thanks.
But it's not
EA
is it
again.
Really?
Anyway, that's why I skipped. I'm glad I did.
I like that kind of thing because I think it's the way it's like I always mention the word production values. I think it's good at the way EA do it, and they are very famous for it.
You haven't achieved anything.
But I also agree with you on that score. Yeah. I think that's a crappy thing to do.
Yeah.
Also, if there's an achievement for it and you don't get it.
Yeah, you know this. Now, let me tell you now. I'm not sure if it. Don't quote me on this. I'm not sure if it was an achievement. I can't remember. I think it did pop up when I did it.
Popping them out on the Xbox, haven't they, Steve?
I've got loads.
Right. Well, let's get to the crux of it then. We'll jump to the Xbox, the 10-hour trial we all got. We was all excited. I actually, stupidly, you might laugh at this bit of a story. I saw Steve tweeting about it late. Then I can't remember what night. Was it Thursday night? I can't remember what night it was.
Wednesday night.
Was it Wednesday night? That was
because it came out early.
I'd chosen to go to bed early because I was really tired. I was hot and bothered, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to bed and I'm going to watch some YouTube on my iPad. So as I've hit the sack and I've got my headphones in and got the iPad, and I was really hot and bothered, and I'm looking at my iPad, and then I suddenly see Steve's tweets and thinks, what? And I thought, all right. And then I saw your tweets. Are you coming to do it? And I thought, bloody hell, completely forgot about it. So I actually said to Mrs., I'm going downstairs. And I actually went back downstairs, not only my plan was to just start it, download it, because I thought it was going to be slow, and then leave it till the following day. I ended up staying up another 3 hours, I did, and just waiting for the lot to download and playing it. So that was my first impression of it. I played it that night. Now, I want to talk about the first impression, because this is where a lot of people have wrote to me and said virtually the same thing. And I was... You know that very first moment we all waiting for a good game? You wait with anticipation, and even more so with this, because of all the chat we've done over the weeks and the little bit of worry that we've had, panicking, thinking, is it going to be this? Is it going to be that? Why haven't we seen this? Why haven't we seen that? It started with this show, like I've said, and that intro and beating the PGA, and I thought, yeah, okay. When it was showing the bit of videos in between and the steps with the caddy and the crowd shots, and I'm actually instantly thinking to myself, in fact, foolishly, this actually went through my head. I sat there and thought, Christ, this looks awful. And then in the very next breath, I actually thought to myself, well, because this is on EA Access, is this not quite finished yet? And the other thing I said as well, because I thought to myself, oh, I've played it, because, at 25% you can click play now.
Yeah.
Well, fortunately enough, that beginning bit is that beginning, so you could play through to that. So I'm actually watching this video play, and it's looking washed out, and it's jerking, and the colours look dull as dishwater, and the grass doesn't look... And I'm sat there thinking to myself, is this not ready yet? Has it not downloaded properly, or is it not finished yet? And then I thought, no, it can't be. It suddenly dawned on me. I thought, it can't actually be. This is it. And then I saw messages on Twitter popping up, because obviously people were jumping on the same and saying, this graphically looks awful. And my initial feeling for it, and it just kept banging me at the back of the head, I cannot believe the quality of how this looks, given that, one, it's on the next-gen machines, and two, they've supposedly started this from the ground up. And I was so shocked at graphically how it looked. I thought, my God, this is going to get panned. And then the next feeling I thought, which was the next kind of negative feeling for me, in an instant, without no reading tutorials or anything, everything there was exactly the same as it used to be. Now, people might say, well, what were what are you expecting? That's not the point I was making. I thought this is a ground up new game that they are going to hit us with. It's the next best golf game ever made. You've had 2.5 years to do it. Bring it to me. It was the same buttons. It was so familiar with all the buttons. I absolutely had to do nothing. It was literally automatic pilot.
Yeah, but
I don't know. You see, I don't think it is.
Why? What? Yeah, but if they introduce a new swing technique.
No, I don't. Well, I don't know. I don't want a new swing technique. Well, they've took one swing technique that was in the last PGAs, but probably was one of the best ones there. Yeah. And that was the arc.
I don't.
The arc was fantastic.
Yeah, I think they've given you 3 techniques for swinging.
They've given you 3 basic techniques,
which I think is enough.
Right, but do you know what people are saying? And this is why I'm on this side of the fence.
You want to swing with your Connect.
You can either do the usual left stick down and up, which has always been my preference because it gives you an actual feel of swinging a club back and forward.
Yeah,
you have to deliver it in a straight. That to me is the default way you should play this game. The 3-button click should be banned, thrown away, binned, never to be touched again.
That's old school, isn't it?
That's the retro look.
That is just children's play to me. It's just non-existent.
Because it is quite fun. But then it takes you back to the original PGA, doesn't it? Well, it's like a tiny mini game, and every time you take a shot, and there is that pressure.
Well, no, but the reason that was brought in, that was the first attempt at trying to create a pressure of a golf swing, and it just fails because it's on a meter that's running and speeding up at one pace and coming back at another, and the width of the thing at the end determines whether you hit it straight, left, or right. That's not really kind of skilly me. The other one, where it's left stick down, left stick forward, it is because you have to deliver it straight down in a straight line and straight up. Now, at least with that version, it does actually prove whether you're going offline or anything. So that's one thing.
But our favourite golf game, Everybody's Golf, is the 3-button.
It is, but that's a more cartoony game, and that's what you expect from the beginning. Straight away. You're not told anything different. What I'm trying to get at, we've waited 2.5 years for the next fantastic golf game. And then I'll let you guys jump in because and I'll give you my overriding thoughts in a nutshell. And we talked about it prior to it coming out last week. It is so boring and just nothing in it of any significance. I had a great email of somebody this afternoon that talked about it, saying their first impressions was it's lackluster. There's 8 courses. It's going to get boring very quickly. There's just nothing to achieve comparing it to the other PGAs. At least the other PGAs, you had a goal. You had a career that was very well done. You had points to distribute. This has been automated. Because I tried the PGA Pro, was my next port of call after the beginning. And you create a random golfer, first gripe of many. You can't put your picture in like you used to be able to, either with a camera or off EA servers. That's nowhere to be found. So you're left with a very default golfer that you want to design yourself if you feel the need. I couldn't be bothered. I picked a random one.
Nope.
And then you start the game, and it's just so lackluster. There is nothing. And the very interesting start of the pro career mode is the way it's done is really weird. You start off on the web.com tour. Now, for any people who don't know what golf is, we all know what the PGA tour is. We all know what the European tour is. It's the pinnacle of the game in respective countries. The web.com tour is for people that want to start PGA tour. It's a kind of intro. You've got to do well at that to then get into the big game. Well, the way they do it, you start the web.com tour, and it's like, here's your golfer, and the commentators are talking, and here he is playing thing, and you play 4 holes.
That wow me.
You play four random holes, and there's a bit of commentary. Then what it does is simulate the rest. Then it says the second round, and I'm thinking, oh, okay, it might let me play now. Oh, no, it gives me 4 different holes and then simulates the rest again, and vice versa.
Do you know what I did? I withdrew. I mean, right. I'm going to...
Well, let me just finish this, and then I've done. What I was saying, I played it to the end. The criteria to get into the game, the PGA Tour, I think you could actually play it with your eyes closed because it's getting the top 50. I actually finished second. I actually bogeyed. I was leading it, and I actually bogeyed the last 3 holes to just fail by 1 shot. And it's just awful. The pro mode has won. We'll talk about the other stuff in a minute when the guys talk, because that's when we can talk about multiplayer, which is a whole new ball game. But the overriding feeling, to me, it looks boring, lackluster. It looks awful. Yes, there's a golf game buried in there. You will be able to play 18 holes of golf, and you will get through it.
Just about.
And I mean just about. Yeah. The thing is, there's no witness, and we all bought this up when we played multiplayer. There is no witness of this so-called new software to make it speed up like no other golf game in the world before, because I can tell you right now, the previous version of PGA Golf was just as fast as this. No different in my eyes. So they bought that up and saying you can go from hole to hole just like you are going on a real golf course. Nope. It's exactly the same. You press a button.
You they clarify that.
Well, I don't know. That blew my mind, Steve, because that was one of the biggest things they was trying to force out there, wasn't it, in the early days? Long gone of the waiting times between no, because it's the same. So for me, I mean, I'll let you guys talk about multiplayer and then I'll jump in. But as a single player game, I honestly, and I don't like saying this to people, if you are honestly thinking about buying it, seriously, do some research. Don't look at what the game is.
Steve, have you played the single player?
Well, yeah. First of all, this stuttering you had. I've not had that, so I'm not sure what.
When the game very, very starts at the beginning, this PGA US Tour, and it pans in across the golf course and it puts the trophy up and it comes up and says, "This is the US Open." That was jerking like anything. It was also drawing the grass as it was coming on.
Right.
So I'm telling you, it was the very first impression I got of that game, and it frightened me to an extent. I sat there and thought, Christ, this looks broken.
I'm just going to throw this in there. I mean, the frame rate of your TV might be different to the frame rate of Steve's TV. So you know that the Xbox One is either doing 30 or 60. I don't know what it's doing. And if your TV is trying to do 120, right, hertz, and the Xbox is trying to do
There's a setting on the Xbox that matches your TV, though, isn't there?
Yeah, have you got that on or off?
Yes.
Or was one of you? Yes. So who knows? But anyway, I'm just saying that could have been.
It could also.
Well, you're both getting a different experience.
It could also be.
Yeah.
And I will go back to this actually. I'll try it tomorrow actually just to cover it. It could also be that 25% of the game was still loading in the background. That could be the other thing. But I will go back to
stuttering,
it.
But
I got slight stuttering.
What
at the
I did experience on full download was flashing grass. I felt that once the screen was paused and my golfer was stood there, part of the grass looked like it was fine, and then other chunks of it, blocks of it, were flashing. It looked like it was flickering.
Graphically, it looks horrendous.
It's like PlayStation 1 quality. But then the grass that was drawn all right looked really good.
Did you guys experience any drawing
reeds in the middle of a bloody putting?
Did you get any of this draw distance thing as well, where you could actually see it popping up, like the old school games were really poor?
I had some little bit of that, not a lot, but I did have a little bit.
Steve, let's not beat about the bush. You shouldn't be having any, mate. We're on the Xbox One. We're on a next title.
This is the Frostbite engine we're talking here.
Yeah, this shouldn't be doing this. Period. Not even close.
I'm still wondering whether or not, as you said when we were chatting the other day, that maybe there might be a patch that might come up.
I've already had mine on the PS4. It's exactly the same. Because what I was going to say to you, there is a patch for the PS4 straight away, as soon as you start the game in the disc. What I was also going to say, I'll tell you what I got the impressions of graphically from it, shall I? I got the impressions to the part of where it looks like they've tried to mask, in the old days when they tried to make real good graphics by masking, like fogging or lighting tricks. That just looks like what they've been trying to do with this game. And when you see the picture of the trophy or the scoreboards, have you seen that little glistening trick that they're doing? What is that all about?
No.
Like a light trick, like diamonds flashing.
Yeah.
It's everywhere. You watch when you see like the cutscenes and like a trophy shown, or they show you the next hole, and anything that should resemble anything that can be shiny, there's this ridiculous. You know how the game was always used to say that they used to use the lens flare.
Yes,
One of the famous developers is famous for using it everywhere, isn't it? Or is it a movie director?
No, you're on about Star Trek with
That's
J.J.
it,
Abrams.
Yeah, they do. That's it. J.J. Abrams always uses lens flare. Well, I'm telling you now, this game is full of this like trick with this jingly light thing, and it was driving me crazy because it just looks like they're trying to make it look way better than it is. Now, my other thing I want to put to you guys, and I've heard a couple of people already say this, why the game is boring, in a nutshell, it is too damn easy by an absolute mile. Yeah. I have played approximately the two versions. I think I've played about 5 complete rounds. My lowest round is 6 under par. I played the guys online. I finished 13 under par. And
you're playing on the pro mode with no spins,
right?
No zoom
now this is another point.
Yeah,
you guys were playing with the spin, right? I was playing the same level, but I flatly refuse to press any button for any spin. So I can sit here categorically and say I never have spun a ball once it's left my club ever since I've played it. I will not touch it. I think it is such BS. It's crap.
Well,
so I played it. I played the ball.
I disagree.
Why do you disagree?
Because it's a
Listen,
game.
Stop. Right, stop.
I'm not a real golfer.
Stop. 1 second.
Right.
I'm going to cast you back to Facebook page of VA's page. Remember me talking the other week when everybody's losing their mind?
Yeah.
The massive criteria, and you've even said this, guys, you wanted this. You wanted a more realistic golf game. Yeah. You wanted a championship where all the golfers
and we haven't got it, so we're back to where we were. So let's spin the ball and have fun.
Yeah, but that's not what they've promised. This is what they were supposed to be doing.
Agreed. But they haven't delivered. So we've got to try and make some fun out of a
There's no fun spinning a ball in the mid-air.
Well,
actually make it change.
But you got arcade and pro mode, so you want to play it without the spin, fine. You play on the other mode. Yeah. Arcade.
So wait a minute then. Hold on. I'll tell you what then. You guys were playing me in that one game. I never spun that ball once. You pair have got free rates.
We were tapping away.
You were miles away. You were miles away.
Well,
from
you know why?
score.
You know why? It's because we're crap. And at the end of the day, our ball's going way off course. I've got to spin it to get it back on, and you're fine. So.
But right, let me ask you something too, and this is what I couldn't understand about you guys wanting to use spin. It's not hard to play the game.
No,
I do agree. Aim the ball in the middle of the fairway and pull your stick back and forward. You can't fail to have that ball go where it wants.
And I mentioned to you, it felt a little bit like the golf club in as much as there are options to look at the lie of his shot. There are options to change the clubs and do punch shots and chips and chips and things like that.
You don't touch
them. You don't even bother. You just go swing back, push forward. And I was doing that. And I will say, you said it's easy. I've got 2 holes in one.
You've got 2 holes in one. I haven't got a hole in one yet.
How many have you got, Steve?
Surprising.
I got one as well.
Yeah,
we got one exactly. We were playing online.
I don't reckon we've had. I mean, I've never had a hole in one on a golf game.
Oh, I have before.
On this, I think I might have had on the Everybody's, but not on these.
It normally takes a little while with Tiger. It took a little while to get there. But
there's 2 things we must cover before we move on, and we have got a lot to talk about, and we are moving on. 2 things we need to talk about. The one I want to really get across there, and I cannot stress this enough, and I don't know what they was thinking. Why on God's earth have they done it this way? And it is the worst entire part of this entire game from start to finish. In fact, it is the one thing that is slowly, or will do, end it for me. I want to meet the guy who decided on the putting mechanic for this game, because you have completely ripped the game apart on a putting level. It is the crappiest ever system you've ever got. And I want to tell you guys, now when you're playing normal mode, left stick forward and back, as we've said, I think we can all agree it's probably the best mode to play.
Yep.
When your power is decided on a circle that is no bigger than about a 50p piece on the screen.
Smaller than that, I go with a 5 pence.
So your power is when you pull back. Now, bearing in mind, a golf swing, and you've got to try and think this in your mind, and you've all played your golf games, you swing your club back and then push forward. Now, that swing back is actually, you start it, and in the middle of the circle, a green bit starts to go from the centre outwards. That is your power gauge.
And it's only 2, isn't there?
It is so small.
Yeah.
So small. And happens so fast, there is no way you can control the speed.
I didn't mind for chipping. I was getting the hang of that because I was able to pull back the club and get the green, small middle green bit lit, knowing I was halfway.
But Steve,
so I got to that and then let go, and I was chipping them in from then.
I'll agree to you 100%. Getting to the green, it works fine because it literally is a no-brainer. You look at your yardage. If you're a bit too low, up your club. If you're a bit too down your club, because they've made it too easy, right? So you've only got to judge distance, and that green thing literally is a no. It doesn't interfere with your game. Where it lives and dies is on the green because it doesn't change mechanically at all. And the worst part about it is you need to control speed for downhill putts, uphill putts. And even the tutorial at the beginning tells you to just move your arrow up with the D-pad or move it down. Doesn't give you any clue how far, any clue how harder you have to hit it or how slower you have to hit it, but then you're left with this circle to gently pull back, and it's just impossible to control. And in fact, I would actually give you guys a bet if you've not tried it yet. I want you to try putting at different levels of speed And you know, all I've managed, I can manage full power and I can manage one that's about a centimetre off the top. I have never, ever got anywhere in between. And that, as a putting mechanic, is an absolute killer, because go back to the previous games, there was, I mean, I hated the one before where they changed it to that vertical bar. You remember that one? That was difficult to start with, but at least in time you could judge power on your putting.
Yeah.
But why they've changed it to that, it's as if they've like not even bothered thinking about the putting stuff at all. Because you can't control power. It's an impossible task.
Yeah.
And how many times have you guys either gone 20 foot by or 20 foot short?
Yeah, but the putting in the golf club was not great.
It wasn't. And
they
but
seem to have
what I go back
broken
to
it, haven't they? In the last
they have, because the previous editions of PGA, they actually gave you a mechanic that you had to learn and get good at. And as you actually played more PGA, it got better.
So
and I like the way you used to give you could have like one chance to click it and get a line.
Well, no, because that's taking away from real golf. I don't like that kind of stuff.
Oh, well, it was helpful at the beginning, because when you're first playing these games, we always struggle with putting when we start these games off from scratch.
So you learned the mechanic, didn't you? Doing
that?
Yeah.
And 10 hours in on any Tiger Woods or anything else, you sort of got the hang of it, which again we're going to have to do with this way it works.
Yeah.
For me,
I think. I mean, if you play it enough, you will get it, and I think that's it.
But you see, this
sounds
is where
like you just want to dip in. And
do you know what? I agree with that. Yeah,
turned off. Yeah.
And this game you play, I've played it, and like I just reiterated, there is a golf game in there.
Yeah.
But what I'm going to say here and now, there is not enough golf game in there for it to hold any attention.
They did say we're going to be getting some free DLC as well, didn't they?
Well, like you said last week, I'll tell you now that free DLC will not be courses.
We'll see.
It will not be courses. They have never done it before in their lives. Unless this game gets critically panned to death, which I've got a feeling it well may do next week, I think they'll have to give courses away free. And do you know what? The criminality of not having Augusta or a full able to play.
Well, we know the reasons behind that.
It is.
That can't be helped, but
it kills it stone dead. I would have moved hell and high water to have this in, because it made the last game, as we know. Well, not the last game, the one before. I personally think this game, in its current state, is absolutely awful and shouldn't actually be put on sale.
Okay, right. Okay.
And let's talk about the multiplayer.
So hang on.
Yeah, can I just quickly? I was just going to talk about the single player a minute, because, as you said, I mean, I've started it. I've gone through. I've done a couple of. I think I did the web one first, and I went and started the next one. But I started to get into it, and I was enjoying it. But my gripe was the character makeup of how you put your character together. Because it doesn't matter how you do it, my guy looks like a serial killer.
Yeah.
He looks scary.
Baseball cap, isn't it?
Can I just ask a question? If you've played single player, Steve, because I haven't gone deep enough into this yet. You know how I touched on the previous golf games were good? You had an objective, you played a championship, and you got XP, and then with that XP, you was able to put attributes to where you wanted it, which is good, because that's how you got your style of golfer. You could have been a finesse golfer, you could have been a drawing golfer, you could have been a power golfer. And that's how you took your thing. I am led to believe in the PGA Pro mode that I've played so far, and I've only played a couple of tournaments so far, all that's automated. You do absolutely bugger all.
Because you're given three.
You're given blocks, aren't you? Yeah, you're given a specific type.
So 3 golfers to pick from. You pick one or the other. I can't remember what they were called now. But then they're fixed stats.
I will say, though, the stats are fixed, but, as you progress, it's like an RPG. You unlock another table. Because what you get like a tile system, as Xbox is famous for, and the tile system gives you different styles of play. You can have a power golfer, you can have a touch golfer, you can have a.
I mean, I signed up with EA Sports when I went through the next level of it, and they said you've just signed it with them. They're going to give you this and blah blah blah. I looked into the golf clubs. You can see all my EA golf clubs, and then behind that, there's unlockables galore.
Do you know what?
For your golfer.
I've heard some people have contacted me to say the way the clubs changing and buying and stuff it used to be in the game, which was pretty straightforward. You won money, you won XP, and could unlock stuff. They say it's awful in this game. It's just so disjointed, horrible.
I will see how that goes when I get into it more later. I understand what you're saying.
It's
but
terrible.
I wanted to play this for so much, and since if we go into how we played the other night,
Let's just start about the multiplayer, right? And without any contradiction, and there's no two ways around this, it's broken. Doesn't work properly. There is a game there. We played a game of golf. We played 2 rounds of golf, albeit extremely difficult to set up, as Rikki will probably reiterate, because he had the nightmare of trying to sort it out. It was okay at start, then we were skipping here and there to find the second game. We did play a game of the Battlefield one, which we'll talk about in a minute, but the basic premise, multiplayer, it just doesn't work. And I will tell you from the point of what I got. There was me, Rikki, and Steve playing. Rikki had set the room up. Now, cast your mind back to the great, awesome multiplayer of previous PGAs, which, again, we could reiterate here and say, what if it's not broke? You know what I mean? Don't fix it. And there was nothing greater that when they first took that bold step of where you jumped in a room of 4 players of your friends, you all played at the same time, and you saw tracers leaving the tee, off the tee, and the hole was played in real time, and you played at your own pace, but you could still see your friends playing, look how they landed, look where they went on the tees. It was great. My experience of playing that the other night, in 18 holes of golf, I saw Rikki and Steve twice appear on the green miraculously because I'd finished my hole. When I finished my hole, which I'm not trying to be bigger than both, it was very quick because I really am
you
this.
Said that you weren't watching the ball in flight, were you? You said you could press a button and then suddenly
as soon as you hit the ball, you press Y. You start with the ball.
Were you doing that a lot?
No, not really. I pressed
okay, so you maybe done it once or twice. Okay.
Yeah. What I was going to say though, where the crap thing is, I saw you 2 twice in the entirety, and that includes seeing you physically on screen and seeing any tracers. I never saw a tracer of your 2 balls one single time my whole 18 holes. So that's the one gripe. That's just been taken away.
Well, that's probably, I don't know, maybe you were just hitting it and we were trying to set up, so you were always in front of us.
Yeah, and what you could do is if you just quickly hit and hold Y, your ball would be where it's next going to be.
You've no need to hold it. You've no need to hold it. You just double tap it.
Yeah, I know. No, what I'm saying is about when if you want to speed up the ball, you used to hold it down and then it would speed it. But if you quickly hold it, it would go straight to
I appreciate that. We come to the second problem. When I'd finished the hole waiting for you, I have nothing to do at all. In previous versions, I could click between you guys. I could watch you putt. I could look at you playing your game. What I'm presented with is a stand-back picture of the green I've just played with nobody on it, no flag stick on it, and nothing going on except leaves falling in front of me.
Did you get any birds flying in the air?
No, nothing. Absolutely nothing.
I think what we mentioned at the time was, this is where the boredom factor comes in. You take your 3 or 4 shots, you putt your ball, and then you wait for the others to finish.
But Rikki,
you're right. You can't do anything. You're faced with your own scoreboard. You cannot click any buttons to.
You can't do nothing.
Kind of look at, because you used to be on the leaderboard. You used to be able to kind of look at the leaderboard.
Yeah, that's it.
Or you used to be able to look at your own scorecard.
But when I played, now bearing in mind, I want to reiterate, I used to play this game every Friday night with 2 British friends, 2 American friends for a year. It was a religious thing we used to do every Friday night, so I knew the ins and outs of how it was great. And I can assure you, we played it every week because of how good it was, and how fun it was, and how entertaining it was. And when you finished your hole, I could actually flick round to players and see where they were playing. I could even look at their putts behind them and watch it.
And which is what we said.
Which is feedback.
Is needed,
but then, to make things ultra worse for now you've got to picture in mind that I'm staring at a green with leaves falling for a good couple of minutes, right? Every hole. In the top corner, it says Steve, Rikki, Toz. It's got a microphone thing for chat, obviously, as we're chatting, and it's also got the scores of the rounds. Well, I just want to say my view was 3 microphones, 2 of which had got a cross through it, which was Rikki's and Steve. However, I was still talking to them, so God knows what that was trying to get across, because we were chatting merrily. But the best part about my round, it said even on all of us for the entire 18-hole round. I had to ask the guys what score there was because I'd got no inkling, no sight, no nothing. At the very end, when I'd shot 13 under or whatever, I'm waiting for the final scoreboard to pop up. Sure enough, it popped up. Guess what I saw? Absolutely sweet F.A. Nothing in the scoreboard. Not a number, not a name, nothing. Broken.
say these are glitches on
But
our first
Steve, it's
playthrough.
out on Tuesday.
Yeah, but I know. But listen, I understand what you're saying, and for me, I couldn't hit the Y button and zoom in to see where my ball
And that was
gonna
another
be.
broken part.
No, we worked that out. That was the mode we were playing on. I set it up to be on pro mode, and that's not available. We had to choose up. We had to choose arcade for that.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So why could I do that then?
What you
Because I
mean?
could.
Press the Y button and
why
zoom
could
in?
me and you press Y in that round?
I couldn't for a while,
and Steve couldn't.
And that's when I had that bad round. I couldn't even.
I couldn't.
Steve was +6, I think he was, because he couldn't zoom.
Oh, was this when we set it to arcade? Oh, right, okay.
Yeah,
that's what I mean. So it was broken on that.
And then after a while, it kicked in. Now, whether that's down to servers or who knows?
It can't be servers. It can't be servers because that means that ARM wouldn't work, would it? It's just broken.
I think at the end of the day, we had 2 rounds of multiplayer golf. One on the battlefield map, which looks nice, but that's all it looks. It looks. Do you know what it reminds me of? And you guys won't have a Scooby what this is. But any parents out there whose kids are into a program called Weibaloo, the course looks a bit like that. Think of Teletubbies, guys, but set in a sort of golf course. Okay, so it looks nice, but it's boring. The multiplayer is dull. There's nothing. There's no reason. There's nothing. In this day and age, we need a raison d'etre to play our multiplayer online. You play Battlefield Online, you level up. You buy stuff from leveling up. There was nothing in this multiplayer. It was just play around the golf, end. And it was like when Xbox first released, 20 years ago with their online servers,
But do you know what when you're saying this and the things that we spoke about in multiplayer and it's broken and stuff, that it's literally they've taken this game and gone back 7 years, 8 years, 10 years. It is so backward to what PGA golf was.
But
it's criminal.
When I went back the next day on my own, I had a little bit of time Saturday afternoon in between getting ready and waiting for a taxi. I went on there myself and my Todd, and I thought I'll go and do the weekly and the daily online course.
Oh yeah.
And it worked a dream. I was playing on my Todd.
Yeah,
all right, I know you're on your own, and I enjoyed it. I don't know why, and I played also with Hayden as well. We had some time with it. But I'm going to go back on it again tonight. I want to play it.
Right, but the thing is, Steve, right, I'll put something to you then, mate. And I get that. As I've said, there is a golf game buried in all the mess. That is going to get so damn boring with only 8 courses, the pro mode not being very well. I've only seen 5 professional golfers' names on this screen as well. I've not even seen a scoreboard with everybody on it. And we talked about that as well.
You the top
does this feel like Forza Motorsport 5 came out, the way that was like the meat was a bit missing?
I'm going to say now, and I don't know if you two agree with me or not, and I'm going to tell you right here, right now, I wouldn't touch this game with a barge pole right now. Seriously, I wouldn't buy this tomorrow if it was 10 quid. In its current
it's on my
state,
rental list, let's put it that way.
Seriously, I would not pay £10 for this game as it stands right now. The multiplayer's broke. There are still in the tournaments that everybody wants to get right. There are still people getting 18, 19, 20 under par. They promised to fix that. It's still there.
So you got a point. So the multiplayer's broke. The daily challenges are probably way beyond our particular needs, or potentially
people are hitting 20 under par.
Which is fine. And then you think, okay, well, there's a single player. And what we said earlier, where's the single player? There isn't. There doesn't feel like there is a single player. I read that there's a 15 season single player mode in this, but the first thing I said, right, where's the calendar? Where's my tournaments? What's coming up? There's nothing. It's just one button. Literally everything is peripheral to the one button that says play now. Play the next thing. It's linear.
Or turn down the tournament.
Yeah, you know what? Choose.
I made a great line to you, Pay, while I was playing, and you both chuckled, and it's probably hitting the nail completely on the head. Yeah. This game looks like the golf club got a patch.
Yes.
Seriously.
And there's still something else. There's something else that's missing that I want back.
What's that?
Which is the clubhouse. Because
there's nothing there, Steve. That's what I'm
saying. We had a Cranky Gamers clubhouse where everyone joined, and we could each play each other or beat scores and have leaderboards.
Yeah,
that was great fun.
I don't know if you guys have seen any major change yet of scores or reviews of this game. I can't wait to see them. I've not gone and looked at them yet because I wanted to get my own views. I think this is going to get absolutely one of the worst reviews there's been in a long time.
I think it'll be, well, you say that, but who's in bed with who on the review scene?
Well, that you can't. That's being cynical. You can't say.
Yeah, but if this gets
we're led to believe as gamers. Yeah, but we're led.
Yeah,
we're led as gamers and gamers reviews of all that stuff that's gone in the past. Yeah. We're led to believe that these guys are clean, and I'm talking of IGNs, I'm talking of GameSpots and Giant Bomb. They're the big three.
Well, they
have got to be clean.
Average scores.
This to me should get 4 out of 10.
Yeah, 4 to 5s. I think will be what it's going to get
in its current state. I would mark this 4 out of 10.
Absolutely. There's not much. I mean, the actual game of golf, it kind of does what it needs to do. Like you say, the golf is there. And if you want to hit a few balls around with a little bit more than the golf club, because I will say it's just slightly marginally got more reason to play this because it's real world. It does feel real worldy, whereas the golf club is just like I don't know what it is.
It's empty. It's like the golf club got a patch. Like I said, they're just so in between.
Well, the golf club got licensed. That's probably what it is as well.
Well, there you go. I mean, the point to me, I'm just more. I'm a fantastic fan of golf. I have spoken about this game for years. This is absolutely of that nightmare scenario we were speaking of a few weeks ago. This is worse in my. This is so poorly made. This has got to be EA's worst ever.
What we need to do is go onto the Xbox compatibility list and go and add
on it.
the Masters.
Yeah, very true.
So we can all play that again.
What I want to say as well, because you guys brought it up, you were saying, well, they'll patch this, and I can tell you right here and now, and I said it the other night, EA are not famed for patching sports games, golf. There has been broken PGAs in the past that never got fixed. So
the one thing that we said we hope's not in it that isn't is
there's no cards, coins, is there?
Exactly. And I bet that's where they would have made their money on this. I will. One thing I
can I just say that there is a kind of system in that pro mode like that though.
Maybe I haven't.
Not you don't pay for it, but it's in there. You can add attributes to give better. You unlock three cards and you open them and it is there. And as soon as I saw it, I just clicked past it and didn't want nothing to do with it. Okay. So it is, but it's not payable like it was before.
Do you think the fact that we've had a couple of year wait and the fact that also the game doesn't have a year or a number after its title, do you think they'll do another one?
No.
Because there's no 2016 on it, is there? It's just Rory Mcilroy's.
Do you know the only reason that I think they'll make another one? I think if Tiger Woods suddenly has an absolute upturn in form, gets back to how he used to play.
Sorry, they've got to bring him back because I find Rory Mcilroy really dull when he talks.
I don't like him. He's boring.
He's just like
he's got some nose in him as well. I'm sorry to say, but he's.
But anyway, cool. I think we've said everything about PGA, guys, and in a nutshell, I would lay off it for a while.
You'd lay off it. Steve can't wait to get back to it, and
which I find
slightly okay. I'm going to have to fall slightly on Steve's side of the fence here, Toz. I'm not in love with it, but I want to play it.
Right, and I
wouldn't recommend buying it.
I'm going to give you another scenario between you then, right? I want to know if you're still playing it next week.
I'm not going to buy it. I'm not going to play it beyond the 10-hour demo.
Well, you've just answered yourself in a.
But I want to play the rest of it. There might be. I'm waiting for the hook.
I want it for social. I think at the moment.
But it don't work, Steve, properly.
Well, no, I had a go on my own.
That's not social, then, is it?
No. But what I'm saying, I went into the online tournaments and it worked a dream.
But the scores but the thing is, that to me, when I first got PGA, when they first put that to us all, you can enter daily tournaments and enter things. I'm quite good at the game, and I thought this is going to be fantastic. It was such a letdown because of the things that are broken that they can't fix. Yeah. They can't seem to stop people cheating and getting 20 plus over par.
Yeah, that's where we should rely on the single player, wasn't it?
Steve, that can't be regardless, mate, because that's what that's about.
No, what I'm saying is, I want to play the golf game. I just want to play it. So for me to hit a round of golf and improve myself, I'll enjoy doing that. With friends as well that want to play it, I just love to be involved in an online sort of community with it.
Are you still going to be excited at playing it with the 8 courses that will become very repetitive very quickly? And I just want to add as well, not only am I miffed at the 8 courses, it's such a crap choice of 8 courses. It's not even funny. It's just there's no of the top famous brilliant courses, and how can they go from 16 to 8 is beyond me. I'd have rather plugged them in. Because the game, and this is another shocking thing, the game is that poorly graphical they can't use the excuse that it'll take ages to do it, because they could shoehorn the others in for me, and they wouldn't look they'd look better. You know, I'm just, I am disappointed. It's just shocking. And I don't see this lasting 10 minutes of holding the kind of hold that the other PGAs had to me. Like Steve says, he likes playing the golf game. Them groups we had, them tournaments we had, you had a single player goal. I had a goal to go to, and that goal took a long time to get to, but it was a challenge. There was a game in there. This is just going to be you clicking a button very easily for 18 holes and moving to a course that's slightly different. And once you've had the 8, that's it. You're going to go back to square one and do it again. And this 15 season mode that Rikki speaks of, that's that pro mode championship. God knows what.
Through it in a few hours at this rate. I mean, because like
I'll tell you something.
Hardly anything to it, is there?
That is one thing I am going to stick to this week to try and find something out, because if that entire thing
can't be
is a 4-hole experience every time you play it, I'm going to get the game and throw it down the garden.
No, it won't. It won't be.
You don't know that, Steve, because you've not done it yet.
No, but what I'm saying is it won't be that. It won't. They won't do that. No,
listen,
come on.
You throw it down south if you're going to throw it.
I have played 3 rounds of it, and it's the exact same.
Yeah. Okay, well let's push on it. See how we get on.
Yeah, we are.
Next.
We've got to get moving.
No, I mean the actual single player. And see how we get on.
Yeah, and we need to push on with this show as well. So
yeah,
we're gonna. That's me talking about the games anyway. So I think we're going to go over to